Hello, everyone. Welcome to Global Online Wrestling's very first exclusive or very new exclusive podcast, Undeniable Talk. For the first episode of the series, I'm joined here with none other than Kody or Kody Styles in GOW.
Thank you for having me, Edu. It's an honor to be the first member of GOW's podcast.
It is a pleasure, and I hand selected you for a very good reason, Kody. So let's not wait any longer and let's just go straight into the questions, I guess. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So the first question I have for you today is, what on your mind, what is the biggest match you've had in your career so far as a Raw wrestler?
That's a pretty difficult question to answer. I've had a lot of really good matches. I have a lot of big matches, but I can't choose one coming from the top of my head. I would probably if I were to choose, it wouldn't be one match. I've had multiple great matches with people like SARS. I've had great matches with Chris. And hell, back in 2018, I used to have really good matches with Demon. But my probably my biggest match or my favorite match, it came from a normal WUKW show, Demons Fed. It was a normal match, 1st to 3 with Chris. He was, I don't know, we've always had pretty good chemistry with each other.
I see.
He won 3-2 that day, and it was I just had a ton of fun in that match. We tied 5 times, and the crowd was
interesting.
It was pretty fun.
All right then. Next question I have for you is, what are your thoughts on being in the World Heavyweight Championship match last week at GOW Mania?
All right, so that's a question that I can't really answer, but it was unexpected because I was just going to the show to just have fun and do an tag team open challenge with SARS, because he's arguably one of my better friends. And
you ended up in the Feast or Fired match.
Yeah, they needed more people for the Feast or Fired match, so I was one of those people, and I ended up getting the World Championship case, which I did not expect. And having that, I was thinking about choosing Crit, because I've never had an actual good match with him, or we've had multiple matches, but I've never had a high caliber match. But I thought it would be much more fun to be in the World Heavyweight Championship match with Wyatt Lesnar, and Zanny. It was a pretty fun match, besides all the
with all the negative stuff aside.
Yeah, it was a pretty shitty
It was pretty fun from the most part. Again, with all the negative stuff aside.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead.
With all the negative stuff aside, I still scored 4 falls on my first match, my first big match in 5 months.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
All right. So next question here is, how so you had a pretty long career here. So how longer do you think you'll be in this community before you end up hanging the boots up once and for all?
Well, that's another difficult question, because I myself don't even know. I've said before that I want to retire, but then again, it's kind of hard to get away from this, because I've made tons of great friends, and it sucked just to leave like just leave on a bad note. And like I've been thinking of leaving like sometime around next year. I'm mainly a part timer right now, and I'm gonna be coming back full time, or at least try to GOW in these next few
Mm,
months.
I see.
Leading into the end of the summer for when my sophomore year starts. But
And I bet you're not the only person who have these thoughts. I bet every other person here has these thoughts about leaving anytime soon. So I bet you're not the only person.
yeah, if I were to leave, it'll be because some people know that I like do like sports back to back in high
Mm,
school, and it's kind of hard to keep track of time and when I can row wrestle. But now I
mm,
think I've got like everything sorted right now, and I think now is probably the best time for me to come back and try and wrestle full or like row wrestle full time until I have to go part time again.
mm-hmm. I see. All right. This next question should be pretty interesting for the most part. Who who do you in your mind think was your biggest rival in pro wrestling?
Ooh, that one's a really good question. I've had some really good rivals, and some of them are even some of my best friends. Uh, Trying to think of some good rivals because I've had some good rivalries with Ryan Mega, SARS, Demon,
Mm,
even Demon,
mm.
Chris. A lot of people at the top of my head, insane. But like when I think of biggest rival, I mainly think of uh, I mainly think of SARS.
Ooh.
I mean,
How come?
I've had matches with him ever since the start of my career back in 2017. He was the whole reason I even started real wrestling. He he was basically my trainer. He led me through some pretty dark times, and he's helped me through those through fight like he's helped me like
So he's
I don't know.
basically been your mentor throughout your entire career. Basically, is what you're trying to say. So
Yeah, he's
it's
helped me a
basically a
lot.
whole student teacher kind of thing.
Yeah, we've held tons of tag team titles in multiple federations, and like
Mm-hmm.
every time we have a match is really close, and it's we have just amazing chemistry and high feels.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to have one last big match with him before it's my time to leave and before his
Mm-hmm.
time, because I know that he's on the edge of leaving pro wrestling in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right then. All right. My next question I have for you is in your head, what is the most accomplished win that you have? Like it could be just like just a win or a championship win. Like what is the biggest win that comes into you? The biggest win that you've ever had in your career?
Hmm. I gotta say that's a hard one to like think about and decide. Hmm. I got. Hmm. I've had some pretty good big wins. Some in bigger federations. Like I've won some stuff in Origin CA's feds,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, this one is like not that big of a win, but it came from back in WUKW. I won the world title, and that I beat I beat like a couple people to win it, and it felt like a really big win because all my friends were there. I was getting big pops, and
Mm-hmm.
it felt like a great moment. And
And
or
that's what makes the moment is the reaction that you get for it. Really.
there was also another time that uh, I may consider bigger. It's a it's a dead fed now. It was the first ever fed I've been in. WRE. And if the Fed started in like 2016, ended last year, but I've at WRE Mania, I faced Mason. JR Mason won. He's a pretty big star now. I faced him and I beat him by 1 point for the Universal title, and that win just felt great because it's my first major and the title that or the federation that started my career, and it just felt great.
I see. Yeah, that's what makes the moment is the reaction that you get for that moment.
Yeah,
Is really what makes it a huge moment in the first place.
yeah, I can agree with that.
All right, so my next question I have for you is, so throughout your career, you've made some friends and you've made some enemies throughout. I already asked you who is your biggest rival throughout your career. I wonder who has been the best friend you've made during your journey as a pro wrestler?
That's another good question, but like some of my best friends came like later in my career. Like I can name some, like Hyper. He's he's arguably one of my best friends right now. He's really chill, but then there's also Insane, who is my best friend for years. But overall, I think my best friend is SARS. He was my best rival and my best friend. He's just been there for me all through.
As again, we go back to that thing you said earlier about you guys having that good chemistry together while in the ring, either as a tag team or as rivals.
Yeah, we've had our ups and downs. We've had our great we've had some great like title matches. Like in UDW, we had a big tag team title match. Although we lost, it just felt great to be with my best friend. And like I don't know, the day I leave or the day he leaves will be a pretty depressing moment for me. And yeah, I'm just trying to spend as much great moments as I can with him before it's one of our time to go.
I see. Alrighty then. So I only have one more. I have one more question to ask you, Kody.
All right.
So you know how pro wrestling has evolved lately as a community in whole. We've been through the whole process. We've been here since like 2017. This is I would say pretty controversial topic, but when it comes to your mind, how do you see pro wrestling nowadays compared to like when you just started?
All right. So myself, I've had many different perspectives about the community. Like in 2017, I loved it because it was my first year of it, and I was only in
Felt
one
fresh, didn't it?
federation, and like everyone was pretty chill. It wasn't as competitive or anything. It was more like fun and chill to me. And 2018 was when I came back. I left for almost a year, and I came back, and everything felt different. It wasn't like it was before. It was all right. I I was in RCW for a while, an Outbreak, and I won a Royal Rumble.
You won a Royal Rumble.
That was for the Outbreak Championship #1 contender, and that was when I started to realize that our community is just it just went to shit. Everyone hated me because pro wrestling started to get really competitive in 2018. Everyone hated me because I won something that was supposed to be like Rich Dillion's moment.
It was supposed to be like someone like a huge name was supposed to win it, and they're not given to like any other person.
Yeah.
That deserves opportunity.
Yeah, and it wasn't as bad then. 2019, it was all right. 2020, bad. Like 2019,
You can start seeing change,
I
like huge change.
2020 was when I just fucking hated real wrestling, just completely. Now
Mhm.
I still hate it. Everyone in real wrestling is either chill or they're just fucking dicks. But this is from my perspective. I can be one too when I'm like when I get set off. I can be like toxic, but like
Mhm.
it's mainly not because of me. It's because of other people and
It's
how
because of how
competitive
the community is really reacting nowadays.
they can be. Really, really competitive, and now and it just really
I can
saddens
see the
me.
change too. As
That's
I can get what you're saying, really.
that kind of ties into my to the question of how long I'll come back or how long I'll stay in the community. This is
Mhm.
what the community is why I'm a part-timer right now and near retirement
That
because
explains a lot.
and
That
I just
explains a lot. All
nobody
right.
seems the same anymore. Like I can see change in some of my friends. I don't want to name names. I can see change in one of my best friends who I don't know, I guess he's just kind of like he sees the change too and he's just not doing great
Mm,
mentally and I know why and I feel bad for him and
mm.
it's I just don't like our community as much as I did. But
It's there's just been drastic changes, pretty much, is what you're trying to say
yeah, I've been
from the
thinking
start of
about
your career to now.
I wanted to go to other feds now now that I'm going full time a little bit, but I'm only staying in GOW because like if I were to I can't like handle this community anymore. It's just really shitty now and like I just want to enjoy my like last ride in the community but with all my best friends until like
Until you go back to focusing on your life,
yeah
basically, because you have all this other stuff you need to focus on, like sports and stuff like that.
yeah
I can respect that. I can respect that.
yeah
So that's pretty much all I have to ask you today. Do you have anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
um again thank you for having me. It's pretty
My
fun to
pleasure,
answer the
man. My
questions for
pleasure.
the 25 minutes we had and
Hmm.
I hope
My pleasure,
I
man.
look forward to more podcasts in the future with like different people and seeing how they
I'm
look.
also looking forward to seeing how this goes. Mhm.
Yeah. So
So
I just say good luck to you and Sippy on this podcast. It was a blast to be on it and looking forward to more podcasts with more people in the future.
mhm. All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you
So
too.
that's pretty much all the time we have for today. So we'll see you guys in the next episode of Undeniable Talk.